Shalom and welcome. This week we begin the third book of the Torah, Leviticus, in Hebrew, Vayikra. The name of the book is Vayikra, the name of the Torah portion is Vayikra, and in fact the first word in the book of Leviticus is Vayikra in Hebrew, called. There's a scribal anomaly, something strange about the way this word is written. Some words have dots over the word. Some words have broken letters. Some words have the decorations, the crowns on the top of the letters almost drawing a picture. Some of the letters are large, some letters are small. They all serve to call some kind of attention to the word. We assume these are not simply mistakes that the scribe made. There's midrash about this scribal anomaly, which is a small letter. So, Vayikra, the first word of the Torah portion, looks like this, and hopefully you'll be able to see these visual aids. And you see the end of the word has an aleph. So when Moses was speaking to God about writing the Torah, one of our traditions is that Moses actually wrote the Torah, God told him to write Vayikra with an aleph at the end. This puts it in a kind of formal context, the way you would use the word to talk about a favored person or a noble or someone that you love, meaning called. Moses wanted to write the word without the aleph, which would look kind of like this. You see there's no aleph on the end of it. This is the word Vayikar. Vayikar also means called, but it's in the form of the language that would be used for common people. This shows Moses' humility. He didn't think he was anyone special. Who was he to be calling God using the formal language? God, however, insisted Moses write Vayikra with an aleph on the end of it. So Moses decided, yes, he would obey God. He would write Vayikra. But since he was uncomfortable and wanted to some way show that he felt this wasn't his proper thing, he wrote it this way. See, we have the aleph on the end, but we see there's a small aleph, smaller than the other letters. This was to show his humility. There's a lot of midrash about this small aleph showing Moses' humility. So you might ask, what does this have to do with story? Well, there's a story of the Baal Shem Tov. Well, I tell a lot of stories about the Baal Shem Tov, and it's because there's a lot of stories. And they also illustrate things very nicely the way they're written. This one seems to imply some humility on the part of the Baal Shem Tov. Perhaps it's only lightly connected. But here's the story in any event. Once there was a couple who had a daughter who suddenly became paralyzed. God forbid something like this should happen to your daughter. They took her to the local doctors, and the local doctors did not know what had caused this problem, let alone how it could be resolved. The parents became very dejected, somewhat depressed. What could they do at this point? Doctors were no help. So they thought maybe they should take the daughter and go and see Rabbi Israel, who's known as the Baal Shem Tov. Rabbi Israel, stories told about him all the time, about how he was a holy man and a miracle worker and a healer. But they they weren't so sure about all of this. They didn't really believe these Baba Mites, his grandmother's stories about all the things that happened when the Baal Shem Tov was around. But they had nothing else they could do. So sometime later, they find out the Baal Shem Tov is in a nearby town visiting. So they think this is a good opportunity. So they take their daughter, put her in the back of their wagon, hitch the horse to the wagon, and off they go to this nearby village. When they arrive, they find, when they go into the inn, there's so many people standing around, and they find the Baal Shem Tov is actually at this same inn. In fact, he's in a room on the second floor. And all of these people are standing around in a line. They're going up the stairs and around the hallway up the stairs to the Baal Shem Tov's room. So they get into the line. And finally, they go into the Baal Shem Tov. They bring their daughter in, put her on a chair. And they hand a note to the Baal Shem Tov. This was the custom. And on the note it was written that it was a petition for the Baal Shem Tov to give their daughter a blessing for a complete healing. And the Baal Shem Tov was looking at this and looks at them. Before I can give you a blessing for your daughter, you must give me 1 ruble. Ruble is a basic form of currency at the time. It was divided into 100 kopecks. Kind of sounds like our dollar and our penny, but at the time this was a little more valuable. Well, they started looking. They looked in their pockets. They looked in all of their pockets. They're looking around. They're trying to find coins. They're pulling coins out of all of their pockets. And when they're all done, they have 27 kopecks. They give the 27 kopecks to the Baal Shem Tov. He takes the kopecks and puts them on the table. He says to them, as I said, I cannot give you a blessing for your daughter unless I receive 1 ruble. This 27 kopecks is simply not enough. Well, the couple starts looking again. Maybe they missed a pocket or something. They're looking all around, trying to find more coins. And they come up with 12 more kopecks. Makes 39 altogether. They give the code. Here, it's 12 more kopecks. But this is all we have. We're very poor people. You please help us. The Baal Shem Tov takes the 12 kopecks, puts it with the other 27. They have 39 kopecks now on the table. Baal Shem Tov tells him, I told you before, I cannot give you a blessing for your daughter unless I receive 1 ruble. And this 39 kopecks is simply not sufficient. There's nothing I can do for you. And the Baal Shem Tov then picked up the 39 kopecks and threw them out the window into the courtyard. The daughter suddenly jumps up and runs out of the room, runs down the stairs, out into the courtyard, picking up the kopecks as she goes. The young couple, as her parents, look at them, look one to the other in astonishment. Then they look over at the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov is sitting there, smiling. Again, they look at each other, and they start running out of the room, and they're screaming at each other, let's get out of here quickly before the rabbi thinks that he really did heal her. And so it was. Shalom.